What are these? In this most recent IPCC report, which was released April this year, basically we have reviewed or collected roughly 2,000 global mitigation scenarios that were available in the literature. But because it is too difficult to discuss 2,000 different things, we decided to choose or to elect 5 illustrative mitigation pathways, because we thought these 5 stories would be good stories to tell to the public on what would be necessary to keep temperature below 1.5 degrees or below 2 degrees. So these are 5 different pathways. One pathway relying more on renewable energy, one pathway relying more on low energy demand, one pathway relying more on shifting pathways in terms of socio-economic development, another pathway relying heavily on negative emissions, and finally a 5th one relying on not doing much in the short term, and then later on having to do a lot to compensate for that. So we thought that 5, let's say, storylines based on this more than 2,000 mitigation scenarios we collected from literature would be very interesting to represent that we still have time to limit temperature to 1.5 or 2 degrees, but there are different consequences associated with that. We're not making predictions here, but basically exploring possible futures. And each one of these 5 different IMPs, illustrative mitigation pathways, show what will be needed if you want to rely more on solar energy, for example. In that case, chances are that you're going to need to rely less on CDR, carbon dioxide removal. Or if you have a future that is able to cope with lower demand for energy, in that case, this future will look different. Society will have different costs for that, etc., etc. So basically, we want to show, let's say, different, let's say, highways for the future, each one with its specificities, costs, impacts, etc., etc.